So our next topic, new topic is arrays. So in this video, I'll give you introduction to arrays and how to use them. I'll explain about them. Then in the coming videos, we will write on the programs using arrays. Let us understand arrays. So for understanding arrays, if you are comfortable with mathematics, let us start with mathematics. See, in mathematics, there are two types of values. One is scalar value. Scalar value means single value. By definition, scalar means magnitude. So it means a single value. The next is vector. What is vector? Vector is a list of values. Means it is having magnitude as well as dimension. So yes, this is list of values. This is single dimension list of values. So we have more than one value. Now it's a single value, we will call it as X. Now multiple values are also called as A. Now how come single name is used for all the values? So in mathematics, we differentiate like this. We say this is A1. In mathematics, we start from 1. So for us, let us take it from 0. Because in mathematics, you can start from 0 also, 1 also. Let us start from 0. This is A0, this is A1, this is A2, this is A3, this is A4, so on. Okay, this value is A0. Yes. Next is A1. So instead of writing the name every time, I will say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, this is A of 0. Like in mathematics, you might have used this one, x1, x2, x3, x4. So these are multiple values. They are differentiated by their subscript. This is subscript. So yes, these are subscript. So this is the concept from mathematics. If you have the list of elements, you will give single name and you differentiate them with their index or subscript, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Same concept is applied in programming also. So let us come to C++. In C++, if I have to store a single value, then I have to declare a variable. So variable will have data type. Let us say it is integer type, x assign 5. So this is the integer type variable x having value 5. So we know very well that integer takes 2 bytes. We are assuming this, right? Integer take 2 bytes. So this will consume 2 bytes of memory, and in that value 5 will be stored. So this is named as x. And if I write the addresses also, so let us say the address of first byte is 200 and next byte is 201. So integer takes 2 bytes and in that value 5 is stored. We know about this one. Now next, how to have the list of elements. Yes, that concept is arrays. Arrays in programming or in C++. So how to declare that? How I can store so many values in a single variable? See this. I will say integer A. Okay, name is A. Then I can store only one value. No, I can mention the size also. Okay, I can mention the size. A of size 10. These are square brackets, right? A of size 10. Now you can store 10 values with the same name A. Then how it looks like in the memory? So it will allocate memory for 10 integers. These are all 10 integers. Now this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are the indices. And the name for all of them is A. This is what we get an array. So all these 10 integers are side by side. We say contiguous or side by side. If you want to see the memory allocated, let us say the first byte's address is 300, as each is an integer only. All these are integer. Total we have 10 integers. So first integer memory is 300 and 301. Right? Next is 302 and 3. Next is 4 and 5. And this is 6 and 7. Means 306 and 7. 8 and 9 goes on. So total how many bytes it's consuming? Total it will consume 20 bytes. 10 integers, 2 bytes each. Total 20 bytes of memory. This was just 2 bytes because that was just single integer. This is how I can create 10 variables with one name. So we say it's an array. Now I want to store those elements. Yes, you can store all those elements one by one in all these locations. Now how to store them? Let us see. Suppose here in X, when I want to create X and I want to assign 5, that time only I have initialized. We are familiar with initialization. Now can I initialize this one? Yes, we can initialize this also. So here only assign in braces, that is in flower bracket. Write down all those elements that are 5, 8, 3, 9, 7, 4, 8, 6, 3 and 2. So those values will be filled here. 5, 8, 3, 9, 7, 4, 8, 6, 3, 2. Values will be filled here. This is how they will be stored. So that's it. I am able to store list of values under one name. Now how to differentiate what is this value? This is A of 4. Then what is this value? A of 3. What is this value? A of 8, index 8. So we can access each of them by using their index. How to access them? Let us see. See, suppose I want to print this 9. So I have to say A of 3. So C out A of 3. So when I say A of 3, 9 will be printed. Right? So individual all the elements you can print whichever one you want. You have to use array name and you have to use it index. C out A of 8. Can you tell me which value will be printed? Yes, 8 is 3. Value is 3 there. So 3 will be printed. And one more thing. Students ask this or they get confused here. If I say C out A, it should print the whole array. No, it will not print the whole array. If you say C out A, it will not print the entire array. Right? Remember this. You have to print each and every element one by one separately. Right? Whichever one you want you print, or if you want to print all, you can print all of them. Now I'll explain you how to print all these elements, right, one by one. Let us see how to access an array. So for that I will write down freshly. Now I have taken main function. So first of all, let me create an array. So for that I should declare an array. So let us declare an array. Integer A of, I am taking a small size array, that is 5. So when you run the program, it will consume memory. So if you look at the picture, we have already discussed once in a video that memory is divided into 3 sections and utilize that. This is a code section and this is a stack and this is heap. Actually stack will be here and the heap will be here, but I am showing stack just above the code section, so that's easy to clearly see the things. Now when the main function is running inside the main memory program is running, this will take memory. So where it will take? Inside the stack. So it will consume memory. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So array will be created like that. So that picture I will draw it here once again. So let us take a bigger picture. These are the indices, right? So I already have shown you that if the addresses are there, suppose the first address is 300, then this is 301, this is 302 and 3, 304 and 5 and so on. So now the array is created. I want to initialize also. So let us see how to initialize this. I want to initialize with the values 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So this will be created and the values will be filled here 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Right? So here also I will draw it. Now the important thing. I want to print all these values. So for printing, I have to use indices. So let me show you just one line. I will say C out A of 0. Which value will be printed? Just first value will be printed. 2. Like that I want to print the next value. So it should be A of 1. The next value, it should be A of 2. So can you figure out how I can change that index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on? How I can change it? Do you remember in the previous videos we have used this thing? Yes, counter, for loop, because the step is repeating, print, the next print, the next print. Yes, we can use a for loop here and we can use a counter. So I will write down this in a for loop. So here itself I will declare a variable I, assign 0, I is less than 5. So the last value will be 4, I plus plus. Now inside this, C out A of I, and every element I want in the next line, so say and L. This is how all the elements of an array can be printed. So I should say all the elements of an array can be accessed. Whether you are printing them or displaying, whatever you want, you can do it. But using for loop, you can go to each and every element. So first time A of 0, I is 0, so it will be a of 0, then a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. Like this, we can visit all the locations in an array. I'll show you here. See, here I will take I, and this is a of I. Let us take it. Initially, I is 0. So what is this a of 0? A of 0 is what? 2. The next time I is 1. So this is a of 1. A of 1 is what? 4. Value 4. This one. Then I will be 2. So a of 2. A of 2 is what? 6. So like that, it can access all the elements. So this is how the elements are displayed. Let us look at the things again. We have learned how to declare an array, how to initialize an array, and how to access all the elements. Now next thing, I will show you how you can declare and initialize an array, and can we have different data types array. We will look at this one. Let us look at this quickly. This means integer type array of size 5. Yes, you can have integer type array. Can you have float type of array? Yes, we can have a float type of array also. Can we have a character type of array? Yes, we can declare. So you can have any data type for an array. So array can be of any type. And if it is integer, all 5 elements are integer only, right? So similar data elements, all are similar data elements. All are floats, all are characters. Next, I want to initialize. Yes, you can initialize these. So you can enter the values like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These values will be filled. And float values, if you want to initialize like 1.1, 2.4, 3.7, 6.2, 9.5. These values will be filled. Now character type, how to initialize character data? A, B, these are characters, right? Characters must be enclosed in single quotes. So this is initialize. So declaration plus initialization, 2 things are over. Now one more thing I will show you. Can I declare an array of a size of 5 and I mention only 2 and 4? Yes, you can mention. What happens? 5 array will be created, 0, 2, 3 and 4. Now only 2 and 4 will be filled. Rest of the values will be automatically 0. This you should know. Next thing, can I create an array without giving size and give the value 1, 2, 4, 6? Yes. How much array will be created? 4 elements I have given. So array of size 4 will be created and the values will be filled in that one, 1, 2, 4, 6. So you can just give the values without giving size, and the size of the array will be equal to the number of values that we have given. So we learn one more thing, that when you are creating an array of some size, you can give all values, you can give few values, or you can just give values, don't give the size, automatically it will take the size. So these are the few things that you should know about declaration and initialization. So that's all in this video. There is a demo for this one, and then after that we will write some programs upon array.